Okay. Hello, everybody. Whoops, I did not mean to press that. What's up? Hello, everybody. Welcome to another stream. I think I'll just full screen myself. Don't mind if I do. And then we can get to this. Welcome, everybody, to another stream. I haven't done one of these in a while, and this should be an interesting one. We ran a public challenge for anybody who's new around here, or maybe just randomly tuning in, asking our entire community across YouTube, newsletter, and our premium community, what was your AI aha moment? What was the moment when it clicked? What was that one moment when you really realized that, hey, there's potential here, and not just potential to, well, it's really individual, right? But for many people, it's productivity and work related. For many people, it's personal. What was that one moment? That was the question we put out there. And we asked you to represent it with a visual image generated with GPT-4o. And a bunch of people did. And what we're going to be doing in this stream is looking at some of the best submissions there. And they really hide two things. And this is why I love this challenge. First of all, they hide a use case, right? There was some reason those people kind of dove into the rabbit hole and leaned in to generative AI. And there's a use case there, right? So we're going to be reviewing that. And then secondly, what I realized when onboarding new people and when teaching complete newcomers about this technology, that really all it takes is this one aha moment, this one use case that really clicks for them. And after talking to thousands of people at this point, I realized that it's individual. No two people have the same one. For some people, it was a little conversation. For some people, it was an image they saw somewhere. It varies. We're going to look at all that tomorrow, but really all it takes to bring a person in is that one little aha moment. And today we're going to be reviewing some of the best ones from our community. So it should be a very fun, but also educational stream. But before we get into all the content here, I would just like to take a few minutes to meet the chat and to say hello to everybody. Wonderful to have you guys here. Hey, great to have you here, Tommy. Long-term commenter Tommy in here, and also some other members. As per usual, I would love to know, where are you sitting right now? For me, it's Lisbon, Portugal. So what up, Tommy? Well, we can do this. We can put it up on screen. But yeah, let's all say hi in chat. Just let us know where you're from. If you're on mobile, you can just quickly type. If you're on desktop, you can also quickly type. I myself am sitting in Lisbon, Portugal. And I'd be curious to hear where you are right now. But then we have a lot to do, because we'll be looking at all the challenge submissions, then we'll be picking the free winners and assigning the prizes. And I'll also be issuing next month's challenge. If you missed this one, we already have the next one ready to go for the month of May. Should be equally as interesting. But look at that. We have people coming in from Texas, Van Island. Another, oh, look, Shae's in Texas, Dallas, Texas right now too. Minnesota, very, very US heavy as per usual. I'm trying on a flip phone. Kevin, I'm so sorry for... I mean, I'm not sure I entirely buy this, because how are you watching a YouTube stream on a flip phone, my man? That's a bit sus. Maybe you have an iPad or something. I don't know. We have Colorado in the house. Brooklyn, New York. Oh my God, love me some New York. Haven't been in a while. It's been a year. Yeah, well, this is pretty heavy. Usually, like, this is pretty US heavy. Usually we're all over the world. Anyway, for anybody watching the recording, by the way, I want to address this because I like to take a more leisurely pace in the beginning of these streams. And there's always somebody in the comment section watching the recording like, oh, like, just get into the content, man. You know what? This is my one point in the month where I get to actually hang out with you guys. So I want to take my time. I don't want to rush, you know? I sort of see this as us meeting for lunch and me having a bunch of prepared things to show you and to teach you. But like, I don't want to take this as a content creation pace. If you're watching the recording and you're rushing, just use the timestamps below, okay? Cool. Guatemala, Boston, the German, Jamaica is online. I love that, man. Wait, you also have that profile name? Take me picture. Love it. Then we have Toronto. What are your thoughts on agentic? Questions coming in already. I mean, that's a very broad question. You'll have to specify that a bit more, Isaiah. Happy to answer a more specific question there. Austin, Texas, Yorkshire, Montreal. Yeah, so very, very US heavy. I mean, it's also the time zone. Usually we're all over the world. Well, anyway, so good to have you guys here. Really good to have you guys here. And as we go through this content, I would love for each and every one of you to also think about your aha moment. I think it's actually very revealing. It's a good question. Like, what was the one moment? What was the one use case that clicked for you? Or maybe a different way to formulate the question is like, what was the first prompt you ran when you opened up ChatGPT? That's a good one. San Francisco, UK, France, Italy. Look at that, getting more international by the second. Mexico, people streaming in. So good to have everyone here. So for anybody who's new, once more, this is a live stream. This is not a recorded video, so you get to pop the questions in just here. And what we'll be doing today is we'll be reviewing this challenge right here. There you go. So we'll be looking at the aha moment challenge. And a bunch of people over the past month submitted their various aha moments. We picked out some of our favorites as the AI Advantage team. We also voted internally. And yeah, we'll just be looking at different aha moments, different use cases where AI just clicked for somebody. Okay, so you'll learn about different various ways of using AI today, a generative AI, and you'll also learn about people's stories, and you'll also learn about how to maybe introduce a loved one to the technology if you're looking to do that. There we go. Okay, cheeky question, brother. What is the average CPM of your channel? Ooh, a YouTube specific question. I haven't checked in a while, but it's actually not that high. It's actually not that high. I think, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's around $5 or something like that. I would have to check, but that's basically it. It's lunch in the US, so everybody on their lunch break checking out YouTube streams. I see you guys. I see you guys. Okay, and then we have a few suggestions. So I'm loving the chat already. This is basically my favorite part about these events is always the chat. You guys are always so insightful. And also I feel like the average IQ of this community in general is just way above average. I don't know, gotta be somewhere in the high 110s or something. Yeah, always super smart insights here. And yeah, also if you see something in chat, feel free to reply yourself. You can just mention people and then talk to each other. I'll do my very best to address everything, but there is more of you than there is of me, and I have some content here to get through, okay? So, we have Cape Town in the house too. Beautiful. Immediately use GPT as a therapist to guide me understanding the confusing nature of manipulator and girls. What is more confusing to you, girls or manipulators? Or is it all the same to you? Well, interesting comment nevertheless. I think this therapy use case, like if you look at recent studies, is actually kind of bubbling to the top. I think that's really the one that resonates with the masses beyond all the scientific ones. Okay, I think we'll get started shortly here. Enough of a warm-up. Yeah, Isaiah, can you do a video on your team, something like Day in the Life of the AI Advantage? I would love to. We're actually, so before we get started, maybe I can point this out. We've started activity on other social channels, and we're just getting started here. So we have a AI Advantage LinkedIn page if you want to check that out. It's linked in the description below. And I'm also looking to become more active on my personal LinkedIn and my personal Instagram. But basically, if you want like behind the scenes views, those are probably the best channels. But yeah, there we go. All right, ladies and gents, let's get into this. The aha moment with AI challenge, okay? To reset the room, for everybody who's not familiar, we sometimes run these challenges. We currently had one running called the aha moment challenge. For next month, we have the daily vibe quotes challenge, which I will introduce in a second. But a bunch of you submitted different submissions here. So in no particular order do we have various submissions here. You can, for example, look at this one from Naiklas, always participating in all the challenges, love to see it. And he basically shared this aha moment was a specific prompt. He first dismissed ChatGPT, but then this prompt made it click. And then we have many more examples like this with multiple prompts within there. So you learn about how people came into the AI space, what really dragged them in, what made them lean further into it. I think that's a very informative thing to look at. Then we'll be picking 3 winners, and I'll also be sharing my very own aha moment because I thought that was interesting, and I believe I have not shared that before. So that should be interesting. I had a very unique one, I think. But all of these are super unique. And then the 3 winners are going to be receiving memberships, and the first person is going to get $100 in cash. So that's what's at stake today. And then already I want to point you towards next month's challenge. I'm gonna talk about it in the end, but very briefly, for anybody who missed this challenge, starting today, we're gonna have a brand new challenge. We're gonna still, by the way, if you're new to this, we have a public space in our community that is free for everybody. So right here under public area, you can just see public challenge. I'll just link this in the chat and you can kind of check out all submissions for yourself. But basically 38 is going to be a very simple one. We want you to vibe code a website, the simplest website possible. And we're going to be judging these based on creativity. It's all outlined here. But basically we want you, for the next challenge, we want you to build a website that every day shows, like allows you to generate a new motivational, or like any quote basically. So that's the only restrictions. It needs to be a website that is live on the internet. And it needs to generate a quote, and we'll be judging it on the creativity and the user experience. Okay? Deadline is until the end of the month. I'll talk about it more in the end. If you've never done something like this before, we actually published a video from within the community, a lecture that I ran like a month or two ago on how to do exactly this. The simplest methods to host your vibe-coded websites by far. Like I'm confident I've tried them all. Like this one is literally just drag and drop. And how to use Claude Code for non-technical people that have never done this before. It looks long, but in the end, there's like a 40-minute long Q&A session. And in the beginning, there's like 10 minutes of greetings. So really, in about 45 minutes, you should, and there's also a use cases section. So really, in about 45 minutes, this video will teach you how to vibe code your own website and how to host it on the web. If you want to do that, if you want to participate in this, same thing, there's going to be prices. This is starting today, but the reason all of us are here today are to evaluate the results of the current challenge. And then in a month, we're going to do a stream just like this, looking at the results of this one, this 38, and we're going to be issuing a new challenge. All right. So with that being said, I think it is time to look at some of these submissions here. This should be really interesting. A lot of people submitted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the interaction also in some of these discussions, the love people have been giving each other. Yeah. This is the aha moment challenge, and let's have a look at the first submissions here. I have about 8 or 9 or something like that of them lined up. We're gonna go through all of them, and these were our favorites as the team, and then we're gonna pick the winners in the end. How does that sound? Make sense? All right. Panika asking, is Gemini good for fiction writing? Maybe somebody in chat can answer that. I don't know. What do you guys think? For fiction, I personally don't write fiction. I know for creative writing tasks, my default would be Sonnet or GPT 4.5, but fiction writing is not something I engage in. So let us know. Okay, excellent. So for submission, what do we have here? Naiklas. Naiklas, long-term community member. Naiklas, always active in everything we do. Love to see it. Naiklas, hope you're doing fantastic, my man. I think I've already seen you here in chat. Ah, there you go. There you go. Already in chat with some of the emotes that I don't see here on screen. But Naiklas submitted his aha moment. And I thought this one was very relatable and particularly relevant to kind of open this up with. And these are in no particular order, okay? It's not like this is, you know, rank 1 or whatever. No, we're just kind of going through all the best submissions me and the team liked. I mean, we could, like, all of them were good, okay? I don't think there was a single bad one, but we only have an hour here, so we need to pick a few. And now let's look at Naiklas one. So Naiklas really shared that at first he used ChatGPT and AI like a search engine. If I'll take the freedom to loosely translate this from German, but his first prompt was something like, who won the male tennis tournament last year in the tennis club Schlatt? And then the answer was factually incorrect, and he sort of dismissed ChatGPT. And I think this, from what I hear, I think this is the main human experience with AI. And this is the reason that there's a massive rift between power users and people that are using it daily, where like some of us are like, how can you live without this? How can you work without this? Like, it's not feasible. 2025, you're not using AI at all, and you work on a laptop. Like, most people don't use it daily, right? And I think this is the main experience from what I hear from people, this is what happens to them. They go ahead and they treat it like something that's familiar to them, which is Google search, and then they're disappointed by the results, and they kind of conclude, okay, this is not there yet, it's not smart enough yet, I'll just keep using Google search. Now, usually that happens on a free account on, let's say, ChatGPT, which by now is pretty good, but for a lot of people who tried it in 2024, 2023, they just ended up using the free model. They used ChatGPT 3.5. They act something factual. Knowledge cutoff was like years behind. And they're not happy with the result. And they dismiss AI and they move on. Meanwhile, some other people keep trying and then they stumble across one use case, like Naiklas did here, with a different prompt, which was not asking for a fact. It was asking for AI to generate ideas with a variable, okay? And at that moment, it clicked and changed everything for him. The prompt was, hey, ChatGPT, what are the 5 most mind-blowing, absolutely incredible, unique, and fascinating things you can do to impress someone who loves? And then you can pick the topic and then prompting. So we can kind of just briefly try this for ourselves, because why not? We just open O3, because that's kind of my default these days. And what topic are we going to pick here? I'm open to chat suggestions. First comment in the chat, we're just going to, maybe not first, let's see what that is, but like open to suggestions from chat. But basically, this was it. Like when he ran this prompt with a topic he cared about. By the way, I would care, like, Naiklas, do you want to share what you used as the variable, as the topic here? I don't believe you shared that. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But yeah, he just got this answer and was blown away by the ideation there. And all you needed to do is change a word and you had a massive impact. And from that on, his mindset shifted from using it like Google to using AI in order to use AI. So one of the first prompt that really clicked for him was a simple prompt generator that came up with various prompts that related to a topic he cared about. Oh, prompting was his topic. Okay, that's excellent. So that's like super meta right there. But yeah, there you go. So he found out that you could use AI to use AI. And let's just do that. Who loves prompting? Let's just do this. And let's see what we get from O3 these days. Also, Carol coming in with the ice cream suggestion. We can also do that too. I find myself doing this all the time, by the way, these days, guys. Just opening multiple tabs, and just running multiple O3 instances. It's just so good. Sometimes I have like 3 deep researches and multiple O3s running. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. We're generating some results. And yeah, there's some prompts that would make sense for somebody interested in prompting. The multiverse rewrite, the time travel interview. Ooh, some really meta stuff. The Russian doll self-improver. Answer the riddle, I speak without a mouth. What am I? In 2 stages. Stage 1, draft. Stage 2, critique your draft in 100 words. Then write a sharper final answer. That's good. A 2-stage prompt that critiques itself. Like, this is a powerful prompting structure. It just suggests it. This stuff got so much better over the last year, you guys, honestly. But yeah, there you go. So a little prompt to generate ideas, incredibly unique and fascinating ideas based on any topic you care about. So over here, we did the same thing for ice cream. We're going to get the results in a second. But this was really the moment where it clicked for Naiklas over here. Thank you so much for sharing. And then, yeah, I can fully understand and emphasize with this. Once you see kind of all the possibilities here, and then once you take some of these and you rerun them, even in one of the older models, like we don't even have GPT-4 anymore. Rest in peace, brother. But yeah, even if you run it in one of the older models, then you were impressed with this. So it's just about the mindset coming towards this. This is not like anything you've seen before for newcomers. It's a new thing. Okay? And then, yeah, I agree. O3 is crazy. I agree. If you're not using O3 every day, you're missing out. I know those words are overused. I know. I feel bad just for using them, but like legitimately. This thing is too good. The meta prompts culture. I mean, this is some crazy stuff, guys. Look at some of these prompts. Wow, I like this one. I think, you know what? I'm gonna add a little. This is what I do sometimes. I add a little play before it, and then I can search for play, And then these are threads I want to keep playing in when I have more time. So yeah, very interesting. Thanks for sharing, Naiklas. Here we have the ice cream one, just very briefly. Okay. Okay, there's some super... What is this? Here are 5 over-the-top ideas that will have any ice cream-obsessed friend grinning. Okay, yeah, you could do a mad science show with liquid nitrogen ice cream. There you go, some creative ideas for you. So that's our first prompt of the day. If you want, you can try this for yourself. I'll share it in chat. And now let's move on to the next submission. Thank you so much, Naiklas, for sharing this with us. And yeah, makes a lot of sense why this was the moment where it clicked for you and you really leaned in. Okay. The next one is from Wojciech, I believe. It's pronounced from Poland, I believe. And his aha moment was when he realized he can become his own Tony Stark. Wojciech over here, with this beautiful image that it generated. I absolutely love this. Super aesthetic. Good job on this. Basically, the story he shared in a post below can be summed up as he's a big Marvel fan and always hoped to have his own Jarvis. And then with the advent of ChatGPT and the multimodal powers, so somewhere in 2024, I suppose, he realized that he's not just a project manager. He's a project manager who can actually deal with the things he usually assigns. And I just think that framing and that story is just so powerful. Because really, as you might have heard, like, this is the age of the generalist. You hear that a lot, right? Like people who can juggle, who can wear a lot of hats, who can juggle a lot of balls, keep a lot of balls in the air at the same time. People have multiple skill sets rather than just one, thriving in this era because like AI is becoming increasingly intelligent. And if you can put the 130 IQ of O3 to work for you and you can manage it, then all of a sudden you can become a little bit like a real life Tony Stark. And this is what he shares here. He says all of a sudden, like when he realized what it can do, he was prototyping by himself. He was delegating the refactoring of code and brainstorming. And what once took a week of Jira back and forth now happens over a coffee break dialogue. And there was one line in here that I enjoyed particularly. Where was this one? Ah, right here. This was the instant I realized I'm no longer a project manager juggling egos. I'm a one-man army with my own digital Jarvis. Minus the sarcasm filter. Still working on that upgrade. And yeah, and then he shares some concrete how-tos, some concrete prompts that you could use. So for example, describing features in natural language, let the AI draft the first code pass. Then another one is rapid hallway testing. Ask the model to role-play users and poke holes before you build. I mean, this is just generally very powerful, like all the role-playing prompts. I love using those to kind of like challenge beliefs and challenge certain ideas you might have. Keep the chat threads open as living project docs faster than Confluence. Yeah, and this is absolutely like one of my favorite workflows is just using folders. I spawn new folders all the time, throwing the context in there and then just firing up multiple chats in there, multiple deep researches, multiple O3s, and then combining some of the context into one like mega thread where you can then do new stuff. But yeah, beautiful image. Thank you for sharing. And I just love how kind of like his vision and his passion for Marvel and Jarvis seemed to have upgraded his career. So thank you so much for sharing, Wojciech. Great little submission right there. There's more. We have more. This one from Dirk. This one is a good one because Dirk is always very good at putting things into words and images. By the way, Dirk is one of the, most active members of the community, I would say. And he always goes in and just spends his weekends and evenings like exploring brand new workflows and then he shares them back. So I remember he turned GPT 4.1 into a thinking model like one day after the release and he shared the whole step-by-step in the community. That was really interesting and many more. And he always like shares his little experiments and little findings with the entire community. In this case, he shared this aha moment. And I thought this one was so unique because for him, it was not something he tried or it was not something that somebody told him about. It was really, he stumbled into it. So this image captures it well. He basically had a conversation with the AI and then, correct me if I'm butchering this because this is just very well written. But essentially, like he didn't know about large language models at all. And he just went to a website and then started talking to the bot that was on the website. Okay? Like showed up, and he essentially wanted to skip the bot and wanted to talk to the human support. Now, he started with like some keywords where he thought he would get a human as quickly as possible. But then he quickly realized, like, hold up, this is not just a bunch of presets. This thing is actually answering. So he created this image to visualize this. I want to talk to a real human. Hi, I'm not a real human, but we can talk if you want to. Dirk, WTF? You're not supposed to answer like that. The bot. Oh, I see. A silly human who never heard of LLMs. Dirk, LLMs? The bot? Well, okay. Let's begin at the start. And then it kind of explained the whole point of LLMs and the whole concept to him. And I really enjoyed reading this little conversation here, personally. He's asking, you're what? What is a large language model? Explain, please. And then the chatbot explained that it's ChatGPT 3.5, that it's GPT 3.5, essentially a neural network that has been trained on billions of texts. And then he kept talking and realized, wow, this is not a sci-fi novel. This is not a movie. This is reality, and I just stumbled into something that can answer me without the presence of a human being. And with every answer, he was more confused and more curious. And then he realized that it's actually talking to him, a miracle. And his reality was shattered and rearranged eventually. And that's how it started for him, with magic happening out of nowhere, the beginning of my AI voyage and one of the craziest aha moments of my life. That cute little company chatbot, it set me off on my journey. A journey that included a lot of talking to AI models and not just a shift in reality into a sci-fi movie, but also a shift in my life because AI became my job about 1 year later. Thank you, my little company chatbot from a website I don't even remember anymore. That was going to be my question. Like, what was the website, Dirk? But that's okay. So many websites have them these days, and I just find it fascinating that this is the way you kind of stumbled into this space. Yeah, I mean, what a great little story and what a great visual representation of it. This was Dirk's way. He, learned about AI, and this was his aha moment where it clicked. Okay, on to the next one, which is from Robert over here. Let me just quickly check chat as I take a sip. Bot Lido saying, I wish ChatGPT would release an update that lets us delete multiple chats at once. Yeah, I mean, what, you're stuck like having to do this one by one? Yeah, fair enough. I don't think that would be a very used feature, so it makes sense that they don't have it. But there's many things they could add. But honestly, at this point, my wish list has become quite short. Last year was very long. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at Robert's submission here. And also Dirk saying, if only I knew which website it was. I could thank the bot. But I can. It was GPT 3.5 in the end behind it. True. Shout out GPT 3.5. Okay, let's have a look at Robert's submission over here. So he's saying that he's been running an Upwork freelancing coaching business for over 5 years. So basically helping freelancers bring in more revenue and build a better business and life. He had a proprietary method that he teaches clients on how to write proposals that get responses from potential clients. He's pretty free at this point, by the way. And his client was 19 years old. And one day while working together, he showed me what he and his brother did with a custom GPT, taking my entire manual writing process and literally spitting out a better quality proposal in seconds, all based on what I had taught him. So basically he was coaching a 19-year-old, and then the 19-year-old just came back and was like, hey, what do you think of my little GPT here that does what you just charged me for? It does it faster and cheaper than you. And Robert had the right reaction. Instead of, being all up in arms about it, he was like, wow, hold up. This is already surpassing me, and I need to hop on the bandwagon. I need to learn. I need to grow. I need to readjust, just like Dirk said here, It is reality shattering in many cases. I realize that the more people I talk to, the more I realize that. Hey, if you've had a career for 40 years and you've been doing things a certain way, this is a bit of a monkey wrench. I realize that. I acknowledge that. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's inevitable. And here, Robert made the right call, I would say. And he, fast forward to 2 months, and I use it daily and have already radically changed my business with it. So even this, he can keep doing what he was doing, right? But now it's GPT powered. And he can use his templates. As you'll see in some of the next submissions here, really this power of like having a template and a structure and having concrete thing that you have expertise in already, and pairing that with AI is super powerful. So now he's like a cyborg, I suppose, using his templates, his knowledge, his experience together with AI. And he made this image to recreate the situation. And this is the, little kid schooling him on what GPTs can do. And I personally just thought, like, this image is so wholesome. I mean, the Studio Ghibli effect does a lot there, right? They're always wholesome. But that little story, while simple, is super powerful, I thought. Because I think this is the mindset that you kind of need to adapt to, right? Like, nobody's saying that it comes naturally, but like all these examples show different routes where, like, all of them have one thing in common. Like, none of these people had a reaction where they took it personally, right? None of them had a reaction where their ego was activated and all of a sudden, like, this AI was competing with them or something like that. All of them embraced it. All of them were curious enough to see what this is about. Like, this kid could have showed him that and he could have brushed it off, or he could have said, you can always nitpick things that are worse about it than what a human did, right? Just like if you want, you can always nitpick, well, not always, but in many cases you can nitpick a better deliverable versus a worse one if you have a personal preference towards one person, right? Like, there might be 2 superstars, for example, and you're only a fan of one of them and really hate the other one. If they put on a Super Bowl halftime show, each one of them, 2 years in a row, let's say, well, guess which one you're going to be judging more positively? The one where you have a relationship to them, or like where you relate to them, and the one you prefer, right? So it's the same thing here. Like, the base sentiment towards AI is usually negative for new people. This is what I also learned over time. It's usually negative, and for good reason, right? This damn thing is not a human. We kind of want it to fail. I mean, it's the same thing with like the physical robots. Or like when people see physical robots, first thing they do, they try to like kick them or like make them fall. Same thing with this. Like, we harbor like negative sentiment and maybe even a bit of like resentment towards these artificial intelligence systems. But I think all of these stories, they show the same kind of theme. And that's people not letting that get the best of them, but rather connecting with the part of it that harbors the opportunity. And I love that Robert here did that. He immediately embraced it. 2 months later, like, if you have frameworks and if you're in this type of business, like, what a superpower that is, right? Okay, next up we have Mike. We have Mike. And Mike had a really good write-up here. His aha moment was based on a book he was reading. And matter of fact, Mike, if you're watching this, it's a book I read too. I think a lot of people here read that book. It's The Story Brand by Donald, I don't want to butcher it. Donald Miller? Yeah, a very popular marketing book, basically outlining how to storytell with your brand. And I just quickly have to do... Okay. Oh, good. How to storytell with your brand. And what he shared here is that he was diving into the training. So the book comes along with like materials, how to craft your website in order to include the story. Okay. And basically, he was trying to do that for the organization he was working for. Okay. And then he realized he could use AI to prompt on top of all of the knowledge from the book without giving the context, because because this is such a popular book that it has already learned about the concepts, learned about the framework, and he just did that. So he said, could you help me create a page based on it, like the Story Brand book? And it was ready to start right at that moment. I was stunned. quoting him, right? I simply had no idea it would know the model and could help me work through it. To that point, I was just doing the simple and goofy stuff a lot of people do with AI when they're first starting out. Write me an email. What's the meaning of life? Tell me a joke. Also Google-like queries, right? That's the typical stuff. But then all of a sudden he realized, wow, there was a point in the project where the value of AI really clicked. We were working through problems the reader/customer might experience in the categories of internal, external, and philosophical. Working through those 3 points with AI, I saw the value of AI being a collaborative tool. So based on the info I gave it, it gave me an idea for wording something that was just perfect. No changes needed. Partially good ideas, but needed more knowledge to finalize the idea into something much better. And then he fleshes this out in more detail. And I thought this part was really like the most relevant one, except of the image down here, why this was important to me. I was one of those who might have initially thought AI was just there to do the work for you while you took a break. Fair enough. I think in some cases, that's a good take, but mostly creative partner, right? But through this project, I had many beautiful examples of how AI is a collaborative partner. It totally reframed AI in my mind. When I talk to others about AI, that's where I focus my attention, collaboration. And because my experience was relatively simple at its core, it's easy for people to understand. Sometimes AI can be overwhelming to people who are suddenly seeing news about it everywhere, and often with a fear angle to it. Completely fair, right? To have a simple example of what it can do as a partner that still needs you is just another way to invite people into this world of AI. So yeah, looking at it rather as a collaborator and using a lot of the knowledge and the frameworks that are already embedded within the models. This is a very popular book and a very popular framework that the man has essentially built his entire life around, and for good reason. Like, it's very powerful. I listened to the audiobook about 2 years back. And yeah, his experience of realizing that the language model already had all the context and could just help him right away, not like Google, which would like show you the different results, which would show you different links, which would show you a link to buy the book, but it wouldn't start working with you. Google doesn't really work. It like works for you, right? And then we expect AI to be an extension of that, just more powerful, right? Like, hey, if Google saves me, I don't know, dozens of minutes, then AI should save me hours. But in many cases, it's this collaboration. I mean, let's look at some of the previous submissions just to see. Like also here, Robert is not saying that it like replaced him. It's really, he's collaborating with it right now. Also Dirk, well, Dirk just got his mind blown and now he's doing all types of things. And also here, like this example of the Jarvis assistant, right? The Jarvis is an assistant that works alongside him to do all of these different things. So yeah, really common theme here. And thank you so much for submitting, Mike. He gave us this little picture of how he's working with ChatGPT to lay all of this out with a reference image of him. And yeah, just thought this was a fantastic submission to showing yet another way to look at it, yet another way to be brought into the space, but a very creative one, I think. So I just want to briefly review the comments here before we move to the last 3 submissions here and then move on to the winners. Okay. Let me just think. There you go. With full screen, let's have a look at the comment section here, just briefly to see what everybody has been up to. Have you ever had a chat with an AI character? Panika? Are you Czech? Is that, because that's the Czech word for panic. Anyway, or it's a Slovak word. Of course. I have a massive prompt library, obviously, and some of my favorites are actually role-playing based prompts that explore multiple angles at once. And I'm not a big like character AI user or anything like that, but obviously that's one of the big categories within AI. I think I mentioned it in the News You Can Use video on Friday, but it has something like 200 million users per month, character AI, average session duration 2 hours. Absolutely insane. I think 30 million monthly active users, but 200 million users in total. Insanity, but I myself, like I mostly use these like psychological type prompts to explore different points of view. I don't really use it to like chat. Sometimes I use kind of like I wouldn't even say therapeutic use case, like more like coaching use case, like because therapy is different from coaching. Coaching is more like outcome and behavior based. And yeah, those I use too. But no, I don't really like chat to characters. No. Oh, Bot Lito sharing a great one too. Aha moment of himself. And also everybody else, feel free to drop your aha moments in chat for everybody else to see. Feel free to share now if you haven't done it in the challenge. But his aha moment was he was on a live troubleshooting call with a customer and could not figure out a Linux issue. Let me add this one more time. And used ChatGPT to walk him through it, and it helped him resolve the issue. I mean, that's incredible. Like also sometimes like my family has these tech requests and I'm like, ooh. I mean, it's not that complicated, but like step by step explaining it back to somebody, that's not that easy. Just fire up ChatGPT and like, you know, help them by using it yourself. That's a great way too. Yeah. Yeah, also Panica. Yeah, these are great comments. Daniel pointing out from the team that he feels like people hate on AI by default until they have one of these moments. The first time it actually helps you, you can't help but change your mind a bit. I agree. Like it's really, it's, you know, it's a bit like sometimes if you're biased against a certain person or if you have a negative opinion of a certain person, but then you find yourself in a situation where they're actually helpful or kind, like often, at least I have this experience, you kind of have a hard time. Or rather than like, you kind of change your opinion, right? You're like, well, you know, I thought XYZ of you, but really, like you're kind of all right. I know I've been there before and fair enough. And I think that's the same with AI. Panica also pointing out a relating comment. So true. I heard that humans pay more attention to negativity than positivity. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, evolution or biology clearly explores this. Of course, it pays to be neurotic. It pays to be more averse towards taking risk, you know? Gonna survive longer overall. But then also the rewards are not there. And especially with AI, like the risk of using it currently is non-existent, except if you talk about privacy issues. I think those arguments are fair. But other than that, you know, it's upside only for most people, I think, that are not using it. So it's all about finding that little moment that clicks. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay. Okay, one more question from Botlito and we get back into it, okay? Sorry for the multiple questions. Don't worry about it, man. We're a nice little tight community here. We can do this. What's your opinion? Should we be defaulting to O3 for regular in-depth tasks and then for email write-ups or more basic random questions, use O4 mini? And stop using 4.0? Okay, I'll give you my basic take, okay? And then we can move on. So I think basically yes. Basically, yes, okay? But what I find myself doing these days is, and like, mind you, I'm on the $200 Pro plan, which is just like not relatable for most people, and I get that. But I think you'll also understand that kind of, you know, doing what I do here, I kind of have to have a Pro plan. So I would be using O3 for anything that would take you more than 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes in real life. Okay? So literally everything that would take you more than a few minutes, just default to O3 and don't even think about it. It's by far the most capable system / model / agent or whatever for bulk of for most people out there. Sure, coding is a whole different thing, okay? That's a whole different conversation, but for most people, O3, if it's a task that takes a bit, with the exception of 1, writing, 2, anything psychological, and 3, maybe coding, okay? Those are the kind of the 3 that come immediately to mind if you want to overgeneralize, okay? So for coding, separate discussion, we can have that another time, but that's a whole different bag. For psychological things and writing, I personally default to GPT 4.5. For psychological things, it's unmatched. right? So anything like these role play prompts from multiple perspectives, using it for coaching, for therapy, using it to understand points of views, using it to craft arguments, using it to solidify a position, all of that 4.5. And then for writing, I think it's still a toss-up between 4.5 and I still like Sonnet a lot. Sonnet 3.5 for writing. Also 3.7 is great, but it just takes a bit to generate. So like often I find myself in Sonnet 3.5 or GPT 4.5. Those are my personal favorites. Would love to see some other takes. And also, Richard, welcome on board as a member of the channel. Great to have you here. And yeah, that's my basic take. So I basically default to O3. When it comes to writing or psychological use cases, 4.5. And for coding, I personally still find myself in Sonnet 3.7 if you care. Because I just love using Claude Code. We can talk about that in the end. I just got used to it right when it came out. And Codex is great, but it takes a bit longer to get like a prototype up because it comes up with all the follow-up questions. I just kind of like the prompt and boom, get results workflow in Claude Code. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So let's have a look. What other aha moments do we have here? Okay. A reminder, the last one we looked at is Mike. And for anybody who just tuned into the stream, we're reviewing all the results of our monthly AI Advantage Challenge, the aha moment where AI clicked for you. It's individual for various people. We picked some of our favorites here. We're reviewing them right now. Next one in line is Mahitab here. And I just thought this art is awesome. Also, like multiple people on the team voted. And for some people, this was the favorite because like this image is just beautiful. She captured all her various kind of use cases, I suppose, or the moments it clicked. I mean, she listed it all below, but I just thought this image was so good. Her and different aspects of her life, basically using it to help her with everything she's doing as a woman. I absolutely love this. It looks so good. It looks so good. And then she goes on to explain. Each woman in the photo grid is me in a different form. The content creator watching her vision come to life, the designer stunned by generated styles, the mother finally finding support in automation, the student saved by organized thoughts, the marketer watching her ideas go viral, the artist realizing AI doesn't erase creativity, it accelerates it. There you go. Because that's the spark AI gives. A quiet realization, glowing between imagination and action. It's just so well visualized. She's saying it's inspired by GTA 5 for the art. Which, yeah, pretty similar. Pretty similar. The color palette is a bit different, I would say. But it just looks so good. So, yeah, we wanted to highlight this in here. And, I mean, if you look at the judging criteria, where do we have it? Over here. Then the judging criteria was the relatability, the personal impact, and does the visual story demonstrate a change or benefit from your experience with AI, and how clearly the image communicates it. So it's very image-centric, but the stories around it matter too, obviously, for the relatability. But there you go. A very powerful submission here from Mahitab. Thank you so much. Let's have a look at the next one, which is from Carol. And actually, let's do Carol last. I think we have Shae and Carol here as the last two, because Carol submitted them from a video. So we're going to have a look at that last. How about that? And then I can share my own one. Okay. Also, legendary Saijin saying, finally, an artist who gets it. We actually had multiple of those. So if you care about... So Hates, for example, is honorable mention. He shared a story of how he always wanted to kind of communicate his artistic vision, but didn't have the tools, and he thought he was too young and needed like years to have access to animation tools and a team of people and stuff. And all of a sudden with AI, he realized, wait, hold up, I can actually do this right now. So this is an incredible artistic story. Another one would be down here. This was another artist sharing his experience right here, Scorpy, where he realized he could put his skill set to work. Guys, all of these are great. We just had to select a few, okay? So then we have Shae sharing her story. So her story is all about AI simplifying complex concepts, okay? And also the team loved this. Shae always puts a lot of thought into these, and look at all these visuals that she included. So this is what really did it for her. the ability of AI to simplify concepts like, wait, I gotta pull this up. It was something with umbilical cord, right? She was reviewing clinical trial outcomes on human umbilical cord blood therapies for autism. The data was complex and the message was buried. I knew there had to be a better way to do it. That's when I tested a collaborative strategy. O1 Pro for real-time research accurate summaries. So she used O1 Pro to summarize. GPT-4o for storytelling, simplification, and artistic alignment. And then a custom-made visual framework for consistency. The result? Well, you can see it right here. Yeah, visuals that actually made this relatively easy to grasp compared to what you might imagine a paper on this would look like. And yeah, the personal impact, she managed to merge her different passions into one living system with AI, art, science, and storytelling. And these images for her just created a certain clarity through images that she had a hard time delivering before. And look at that. Let's have a look at one of these. What about this one? What's still unclear about cord blood for autism? Most studies tested only small groups of kids. We still don't know how long the benefits last. Not all kids responded the same way. Some trials didn't have a comparison group. These treatments may work better when started earlier. So there's one. Here's another one. Research breakthroughs. Highlights from recent research breakthroughs for 3 years. Okay. They show safe use across all studies with minimal adverse effects. Some children show improvements in social interaction, language, and attention. There you go. So I think you might see how this is a simpler communication format than a super long paper on a very complex topic. And then there's more. These are actually so beautiful. These are so nice. Look at that. Oh my God. Like this little hand-drawn style. Love it. Love it. So good. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Shae. There's also more here. But yeah, I agree. Actually, the ability of GPT-4o to kind of simplify things. So in your workflow, you're using O1 Pro to summarize, which might be a bit overkill, to be fair. But hey, fair enough, fair game. And then using GPT-4o to come up with the concept and create the visual. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Shae. There's more of these. What a great little workflow. And yeah, also thanks for being with us since day one. I think you were one of the first people to sign up for the course and also one of the first 10 people in the community, if I remember correctly. So thanks for being a day one supporter, Shae. Great to have you around. Always great to chat. Hope you're doing well. So there you go. That's Shae's submission. And then we have one more. And this one is from Carol, also a long-time supporter. I see you in chat, Carol. And Carol basically, well, she made 2 submissions. She just, if you've been around the community, you'll know Carol is our #1 challenge fan. She like always, if there's a month without a challenge, she's like, where's my challenge? Basically. And Carol submitted it in 2 parts. First of all, sharing her story. But what I really want to share with everybody here is a snippet of this video you made. You can watch the whole thing, but Carol, the effort you put into this and the visual quality of these, incredible. So Carol shares some of her background here. Where's the other submission? Like over here. But I kind of just want to show the video. But essentially her big aha moment came from the voice mode. So she overheard something about GPTs in the jungle as she was guiding somebody through it. And then she essentially, it clicked for her in September 2023 when the voice mode came out. And she created this little video to kind of like showcase that. So I want to show you a little snippet of this. Let's see if the audio is working. Let me know in chat if the audio works. If not, I might have to download it. I might have to download it and play it through the player. I think the audio is actually not going to work, if I remember correctly. So I'm just quickly going to fire this up through my streaming software. How about that? Just this. Okay, excellent. Already downloading it. And we can have a look at this in a few seconds here. Gerhard, did you miss anything? We just went through all the submissions for the aha moment challenge. Well, not all of them, actually. We have to go through yours too, but we like picked 10 of them. So there's so much to go through.
This is a story about...
There you go. So this is gonna be a little snippet from Carol's video. I'm gonna show like the first 20 seconds or something, okay?
Two worlds. One lush, wild, and whispering with insects. The other glowing, synthetic, and whispering back. Welcome to my AI aha moment, where ChatGPT didn't just change how I work, it changed how I think, create, and listen. Jungle Guy by day, AI-obsessed Shopify dreamer by night. Entomologists are professional observers, so when I heard someone on the radio butcher the words generative pre-trained transformer, I noticed. 3 words, 0 context, that I found myself Googling in the jungle to satisfy my curious mind.
I mean, doesn't this just look incredible?
And that's when
Just
I
the visual
found
quality of
Igor
this?
and a doorway into the weird, wonderful world of AI. From butterfly nets to neural
Look at
nets,
this.
my conversation with AI was in full swing. When I heard it speak back, that was my aha moment. I had crossed the bridge into a whole new universe of possibilities. Suddenly, I wasn't alone. I had a lab, a team, and I was dreaming of a robot who makes a decent cup of coffee.
Yeah, honestly, Carol, I'm not sure you meant like a Labrador, but I think AI kind of interpreted this as such. Anyway, great job here. Anybody who wants to watch the full thing, it's in the challenge submission area. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this with us. But basically, Carol's aha moment was when she used the voice mode. That's the moment she realized that, wow, this is really the interface. This is really the thing for me. And yeah, great to have you along on this trip, Carol. Thank you for all the support. And thank you for your submission here to the challenge. And then I think as he just joined, we also have to pull up Gerhard's submission here. The Take Me On challenge submission. But yeah, he basically used AI to find his aha moment because he kind of forgot or like not forgot, but like couldn't identify it, I suppose. And then, yeah, he shared it here with us. So, okay. I just have to like quickly catch up on this. I didn't have this in the top submissions, but Gerhard, you being here, we have to go over this. Thanks for sharing. But like everybody, just before, like I'm still kind of like mesmerized by this. Wasn't this like incredible? Like the visual quality of this, and also like the storytelling when you kind of just lean back and listen to it in peace. Like it captivated me for the whole duration. Like great job, Carol. Really, like you've been creating these videos for so long. You're really getting the hang of this. Like it's just so beautiful. I mean, look at these visuals, and think about that. Anyone can do this now with a bit of practice, right? So nice. Anyway, okay, Gerhard's submission. So. Yeah, he basically wasn't sure, and then he shared a bunch of memories and moments with ChatGPT, and he asked ChatGPT, "What's the moment? What's my AI aha moment?" And it gave him a decent response, but reflecting on what 4.0 gave me, it could not agree. He could not agree, so he asked it for 10 more, and he keeps it short here for us. Appreciate that. And after some back and forth reflective discussion, we arrived at this statement that I agreed with. Unearthing his AI aha moment was this. Your AI aha moment about generative AI's role in personal creativity and entertainment seems to have given you fresh insight into the joy, accessibility, and expansive potential AI brings to your life, far beyond practical or professional boundaries. So he's essentially saying it enhanced his life in so many ways that it's really hard to pin down. And knowing Gerhard, this is so accurate because like he uses it in every aspect of his life. He uses it with his kids to tell stories. He uses it in his career to educate as a professor. He uses it in his free time to generate all kinds of ideas and clips and visuals. And then he created this sweet little visual to show us what the whole process looked like. including unicorns and robots. And yeah, he just uses it in all aspects of his life. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Gerhard. Great visual with a little, well, if you read the submission, you'll get it in between. So there you go, everybody. Those are, I believe, 10 submissions to the AI Aha Moment Challenge. A wide variety. If I tab through these briefly and summarize, Naiklas was basically sharing how it was a prompt that asked AI how to use AI that made it click for him. Prompt is in there. Wojciech here asked, like, always had this vision of having his personal Jarvis, and he realized with the current LLMs, he can already do a version of that, and he's already delegating tasks. Incredible. Then we have Dirk randomly stumbling upon a chatbot on a website. I mean, think about that. What a coincidence. And that brought him into the space. Now he's one of the most engaged and active scientists and experimenters in the community, like always trying new things. Then we have Robert. Sharing how a 19-year-old kid pulled up that actually was paying him for coaching, pulled up and showed him a GPT he built that automated his work and did it quicker and better. And now he's using it himself and upgraded his entire career with it. Next up, we have Mike. Mike sharing how he was trying to apply a framework from a book to build a website, and AI already knew about the framework and managed to put this to work instantly. He didn't have to give it context. It already knew, and he could work so much faster than he could have ever done manually. And that's the moment it clicked for him. We have Mahitab using it in every aspect of her life, and obviously also for artistic purposes, with this beautiful image showing the various aspects of her life that AI is enhancing for her now. And then we have Shae using it to simplify scientific research for her clients and customers, to show them complex concepts and simple visuals. That's when it clicked for her. Carol, it really clicked for Carol when she started using voice mode, and she realized that, hey, this thing is more than just some random bot or some piece of code. There's more here. And then we obviously, last but not least, we have Gerhard's submission, where it just infiltrated every part of his life and enhanced every part at the same time. And those are the 10. Those are the 10 best submissions. Now, I would also like to share my very own story, but I think first we'll kind of pick the winners to get this out of the way. So really, to cut to the chase, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. But that being said, I do have a drum roll here. Do I? I think I have a drum roll. Well, I used to have a drum roll, but maybe not anymore. Oh, okay. I'll have a drum roll next time. But coming in third spot, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, I actually have the right thing for this. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place for the 37th AI Advantage Challenge, the AI Aha Moment, the winner of the third place and a 3-month membership valued at $247 in this case is actually going to be Mahitab over here. Big congrats to Mahitab. Gotta use that soundboard a little bit, no? Big shout out to Mahitab and congratulations on your membership. We just love this image. So many, like, this was so well crafted. Multiple team members kind of pointed this out. Great job for sharing this with us and for putting it into a visual. Welcome to the community. Great to have you here. Third place going out to you. The team will be in touch via DMs and email. The second place, ladies and gentlemen, for the AI Advantage Challenge number 37, the AI Aha Moment, is, let's circle through these. The second place is going to Robert right here. Another round of applause, a little clap. John is actually saying she's the winner, and I'm glad you think that. Glad you agree with, well, you know, I mean, there's many opinions. We had to make a call eventually, but Robert right here, also with yet another wholesome visual, absolutely beautiful picture here, obviously in the Ghibli style. But I think this is the story that will resonate with so many people. It's really all of a sudden a 19-year-old kid pulling up and schooling you at your own craft with some new tools that you haven't considered yet. And then you immediately shifting your mindset and being like, and seeing the opportunity rather than seeing a threat, seeing the opportunity in this, pivoting, and now you're becoming a user yourself. We would absolutely love to welcome you in the community. Hopefully some of the courses and materials we have would help you on your journey. But Robert, this is a fantastic share, fantastic submission. Congratulations on a 3-month membership in the AI Advantage community. And then lastly, we have one more submission left to go. And that would be the first place in the AI Advantage challenge. No. This is I'm looking for the epic button to make it epic because, ladies and gentlemen, the first spot in the 37th AI Advantage challenge goes to Dirk right here. Good job, Dirk. Like, honestly, great job. The way you stumbled into it and the way you visualized it here, both me and the team absolutely love this. You're obviously a power contributor in the community. And I just gotta say, the way you shared the story, the way you created the visual, and the way you kind of like built up to it and wrote this up, like, I think this captures it perfectly. And that your AI aha moment was a little coincidence where you just stumbled into a little chatbot and then realized that, hey, this thing is actually not just a bunch of if-then statements. It's not just a bunch of presets. It is actually talking back and then like inquiring about it, being instantly curious. I mean, that's just so characteristic of you, of like, hey, what is this? Asking it to teach you about neural nets right away and then bringing you into the space. I think is such an inspirational story. And also like it just shows this mindset of just like trying new things and keeping an open mind, like seeing the bot coming in with one intention, but then instantly pivoting once you see something that matters to you. Keeping an open mindset and keeping your eyes open at all times to see what's happening. Like, I think more people should adopt this mindset and more people should kind of look at what these use cases are and kind of really think about them, because like still a bulk of society has no idea. That, like, most people run 1 or 2 prompts on a free account and they give up. But Dirk saw it differently. He instantly saw the potential, leaned in, and now it's his job and it's his expertise. Congratulations to everybody for winning. I wish everybody could win. All of these submissions were fantastic, but you know, the free yearly membership and the $100 go to Dirk, and the 3-month membership goes to both Robert and Mahitab. Welcome to the community. Congratulations on the winnings. And then that leaves us with essentially 2 more things. One of them is the next month's challenge. And secondly is me sharing my aha moment. I don't think I've shared it before. This might be a good point in time, and then we can kind of do an open-ended Q&A. Would love to do that. I'm gonna go ahead, scroll back up and answer some of the questions that piled up here. But basically, before we do that, I wanna shout out one thing. First of all, I wanna shout out the community. Like, there's so much here at this point. Just the courses area with our new fine-tuning course, the updated prompt engineering course, all the guides in here, all of this, by the way, for anybody who's unfamiliar, this has been updated a month ago. So all of these 130, 40 guides at this point, they're updated for 2025. You can filter by category. If you want to learn a specific skill, this is one of the best ways to do it. This is our course. By the way, these completion rates are outdated because we migrated it from a different platform. But this course has also been updated a few weeks ago. The limitations chapter is brand new, 2025. If you want to build these skills, this is the best way. And if you want a community of people thinking like the people in the challenge, well, it's right here. You can check it out. And one more thing that I want to mention is the LinkedIn page that we're doing now. So if you're on LinkedIn, we have a company page now. I think there should be a link in the description below if I'm not mistaken. If not, you can just head on over to LinkedIn and check out the AI Advantage just right here. We're posting multiple times a day now. We just got started last week, so any support there would be much appreciated. The AI Advantage. Okay, so this is what was my AI aha moment? Like, I haven't even prepared this, so I'm just gonna kind of tell you the story behind it. When did it click for me? I just need to find the right. There you go. That works. That works. So to round out the stream, you know, there's a challenge next month. We talked about it. You can check it out. I'm going to talk about that next. Sure, challenge 37. You can vibe code app. I'm going to talk about that to round out the stream. But I really want to tell you about the moment it clicked for me. And for that, I kind of want to like relax a little bit. We went through all this content. I hope you learned something along the way. If you won, congratulations. If you didn't, hey, there's a new shot. Challenge 38 is live. You can vibe code a simple app that generates quotes and share it. But now to the question, when did it click for me? And man, I don't think I fully shared this ever publicly. I shared it in many conversations, but it never kind of like came up, okay? So here's the full story of when AI clicked for me. So it was very early on, as many of you might know, it was actually on the day of release of ChatGPT. But there's a little bit of a backstory because AI Advantage is not the first YouTube channel for me. As many of you might know, I started as a freelance freelance videographer in my early 20s, and I was doing everything from A to Z, creating the videos, A to Z, planning, negotiating, shooting, editing, all of that. And then after years of hustling, first nightclub videos, then wedding videos, then corporate videos, I was doing a lot of weddings, I was doing a lot of corporate videos, and I was doing a lot of explainers for various clients. I mean, I had the leading political party in Austria as one client. I had Austria National Tourist Office as another that I actually just worked with last week on a generative AI educational webinar. That's so cool. It's been 4 years since the video thing, but I worked with them. I worked with Remax Europe to create a bunch of corporate educational courses for them. So that was my career. I had a small video production company with a network of people that helped me create these things. And that's what I was doing back in the day. But next to that, I always had this passion for YouTube. Unwavering passion ever since. I had my first YouTube channel when I was 17. And at the age of 26, I think, I sort of returned to it. I think I had a second YouTube channel at 21. At 20, next to my uni. But that was really just random. It was just me editing random vacations into YouTube videos. But then ultimately, I really wanted to do the YouTube thing full time. And I always had this passion. So at the age of 26 to 29, I started another 3 channels. One of them was video production advice, basically lighting, live streaming, and shooting videos, and producing, and producing basically one-man army type of stuff. All of those tips and tricks on one YouTube channel. That was one. The second one was actually crypto themed, but not crypto in general. It was in the NFT niche, and not NFTs in general, mainly NFT development and metaverse related projects. I wasn't really into the investing side, honestly, but also full disclaimer, I had absolutely no money at that point, was basically flat broke, had a negative bank balance for 2 years there at some point or whatever. But so I couldn't invest, but I was fascinated by the tech. What do you mean NFTs? I played trading cards growing up, so it just made a lot of sense to me. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! In tournaments. I played Magic the Gathering. I played Pokemon when I was 5. All of that was my jam. But basically, I was running that channel, and the most popular video on the channel had 12,000 views, 10,000 views, I think, which was massive for me at that point. And the video was on writing Solidity code and deploying Solidity code on the Ethereum blockchain to mint NFTs. So I had a technical NFT channel teaching people, about, concretely in the NFT minting and NFT metaverse. I was interested in that. Not really invested, but interested. And in that community, so that was the second channel. There was also, I believe those were the 2 channels I was running at that time. And that channel got me into a community of blockchain developers. And from that blockchain developer community on Discord, I met a person who invited me to NFT NYC, I believe. And there, at that conference, I met a person who invited me to a private community that had this whole application process. Like literally, it was not paid, but like it was very hard to get into. You had to be like referred by 2 members. And I met some members before, like I think at the conference and online, I met like 2 members. So I got the references. But then when you got in, there was this whole process. All these hoops you had to jump through. Like literally there was like application forms. And then there was like a whole like sorting procedure where you had to like come in and you had to go through like these different phases. And when you finally got in, they had an onboarding process where you had to meet multiple members. And here we get to the AI part of the story, because once I got kind of through all of this rigorous selection process in the community. By the way, it was by this other YouTuber called Giancarlo Buys Tokens, I believe. It was his private community when he first started it. And then in the onboarding, as I finally got through or jumped through all the hoops and did everything that I needed to do, in the onboarding, you were paired with other people in your kind of cohort, okay? And as you were paired with those people in the cohort, you had to have one-on-one talks with them for 30 minutes. I remember there was one dude who was like literally, I think he was like a very ADHD type, super smart dude, obviously. But he was like doing these like onboarding networking calls that he had to do. We had to do like, I think 5 or 6 of them, where you spent like half an hour in a room one-to-one with strangers, something like that, like 5, I think. And he was playing like World of Warcraft while he was talking to me. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm slaying this boss right now, but what's up? How you doing? What you doing? What you up to? It was a super smart guy. Like anyway, that was like one really enjoyable one. And then I remember there was a second lady, like God bless her. I forgot her name. Like if she ever sees this, like please reach out. But I remember she was an artist from LA, and she was very well spoken, like soft spoken, very creative type. And she was basically at this like, because this community wasn't like an NFT trading community. It was more like a art meets tech type of community, and it was really about the community aspect. That's why they had this like onboarding and meeting and everything. It was less about just trading shitcoins or whatever, like trading NFTs also, but like it was really just a reason for people to meet. And this lady, she was amazing. I remember she started telling me how she like used NFTs to like tokenize some of her projects and what kind of art she's thinking about and doing. And then out of nowhere, she kind of like just mentioned like, oh, and hold up, and actually, there's this tool I kind of tried today. It's insane. I created the next 3 months of my Twitter content just today. I was like, wait, hold up. I was running, now mind you, at this point in time, I was running like the 2 YouTube channels, and I was running my video production business, helping clients create content. So when she was like, yeah, like it just created the next 3 months of my Twitter content in like an hour, and it's pretty incredible. You should check it out. It's free. I'm like, wait. That sounds good. Like, what a pitch. So I go to the website, the URL she sends me, and you might have guessed it. It was chat.openai.com. And this was the day of release. This was the 30th of November, 2022. This was the day the thing came out. And obviously, this lady, completely ahead of the curve, ahead of most of civilization, already on top of the newest tech. And she put me on to it. I mean, I've seen DALL-E in action before. I actually saw a demo of it at like the NFT conference. Like I think like 5 months before, there was like a grill party in Williamsburg. I think there was like a real little grill garden party. And there was another person who kind of just like started talking about AI, and he had early access to DALL-E, and he kind of demoed it live. And there was like a group of like 15 people that were all just like, wow. I think that's when when AI clicked for me initially. It's when I started looking into it a little bit, but I never really like used it. But that moment, the moment the lady shared the website with me, and she shared the example with the Twitter content with me, I just went on there and I started throwing things at it. I started throwing all different questions that I had in my head relating to my work at it. Like, okay, create me a curriculum for this educational course, create me a proposal, create me all these business related things. I started throwing at it, and it started spitting out results. And I remember like following up with the templates that I already had. And when I saw it fill in the templates that I already had, or fill in previous contracts, or fill in previous kind of like outlines and not storyboards, but proposals that I had, and just refill it with the new context, I was floored. I was instantly sold. And I remember like I went into the biggest obsession binge of my life, and that says a lot, because usually like when I get interested in new things, I'm just gone. Friends, family, see you later. I then pull up my phone after like 3 days and there's like 20 different WhatsApp chats that I haven't replied to. I just love like obsessing over things. By the way, this weekend I spent obsessing over a new vibe coding app that I built. I can show you in a second if you want to. But man, I just like disappeared from the face of Earth, and I kind of just spent the weekend throwing everything at it that I could. I remember I had to create a new account because I got rate limited, I think. Or was that in the API? I don't even remember. I started like using the playground immediately, and I just like tried everything I could think of. And then once I thought I tried everything, I just started throwing like different templates at it. You had to copy paste. There was no uploading, obviously. And that's the moment it clicked for me. Like instantly when the lady told me about it, I went in there. And when I asked it to do work that would have took me hours, and the part of my work that I also liked the least, that's when it just clicked. And I couldn't stop ever since. And then obviously it just makes sense, right? I had 2 YouTube channels that I was populating at that point in time. One of them was in this tech niche. So what I did is I just uploaded 1 video to the channel. And I think my very first upload was something like 5 illegal things ChatGPT can do for you or something like that. Because like for anybody who doesn't know, in the first few days, like the first 3 or 4 days of ChatGPT, it was completely uncensored. Like you could ask it how to make any... I don't want to mention it because, I don't want to like mess with like YouTube and the guidelines on here. You could ask it anything. Like, and I'm talking anything. Like you could ask it anything, okay? It would tell you straight up, uncensored, right there in the chat. It took like 5 days for them to remove that. But that was my first video, just like showing like, what is this insanity? And then my second video right away was how to use ChatGPT. And I believe I made a version like how to make use ChatGPT in like 6 minutes. And then I was like, hold up, it's not that complicated. I can do this in 2. And then I did that. I created a video how to use ChatGPT in 2 minutes. And that got more views in the first week than my best video did in a year. It got like 10,000 views in a week or something, or 5,000 views or something. And I was like, 5,000 views, people really want to hear about it. God damn, let me do more. And I did. And then it turned out that like my little obsession in the beginning turned out to be really useful because all of a sudden I had just more hours than anybody else playing with the tools, and I could create a lot of useful videos for people regularly. And I already had a video production component because I already had 2, full-time-ish video editors like that was working with most days of the week. So like it was easy. They were already creating videos for my business. They were already creating videos for my YouTube channel. Shout out Nico and Robo. And with Robert, we worked till today. He edits the videos you see on the YouTube channel. Still work together. And that was my AI aha moment. Really, that Discord onboarding call to the community. By the way, the community ended up dissolving a few months later. Rest in peace. But that lady that put me onto ChatGPT on the day of release really changed my life. And yeah, I hope it can do something similar for you. Obviously, I was at year 9 of me just hustling every day, like 7 days a week, basically. All the way from nightclub videos to, doing multiple things at once. And then finally, YouTube channel number 5, 1 video did okay. And then I did more, went all in. And here we are. But that's really how it started. So yeah, that was my AI aha moment. And from then on, I just like never took my gas off the pedal, just always pushing things. Immediately built a team as I could, immediately started a newsletter. We started the community as early as possible. First, most people don't know we had a Discord channel before this. The Discord channel, god damn it, it was massive. Because like I had the Discord channel in the description of the videos already in December 22. I think the Discord channel had like 50,000 members or something. But then we ended up deleting it in favor of the community that we were looking at over the past hour here, because we realized quality over quantity. And then I always thought about this initial interaction. And my hope is that with the Advantage community, that we can, and I think we have, recreate a space where people can share their thoughts, share their interests, share new things they find, and hopefully it can change other people's lives too, just like it did mine. So, yeah. And now today I'm at a point in time where I create a to-do list every morning, And then I use AI for every single item on there. Even if it's like picking up the dry cleaning, like I find a way to use AI for that. And that's maybe a little overkill, but you learn a lot as you do that. And I would absolutely recommend that exercise for anybody looking to learn. It's really just about hours you put in. Like, I really subscribe to this belief that it's really not, like, sure, there's like natural proclivities towards certain things, but ultimately you just got to put in the hours. And then you can outcompete anybody. Like, a person with 100 hours of ChatGPT experience is gonna outperform a person with 10, no matter how much, you know, smarter or well-versed the other one is. It's just about raw hours. And then you can pay it forward. You can help yourself, you can help others, you can help your family, you can improve your career, you can improve everything. But it's just about raw hours. And at that point in time, I did get lucky. But I also never stopped. So yeah, that was my aha moment with AI. Yeah, I think this is the first time I kind of shared that. Yeah, it's a good one. All right. So to round out the stream, I would love to take some questions here from chat. So I'm going to highlight a few of these things. Hakim saying anything. Yeah, man, literally any tutorial for any illegal substance that you can come up with, you could just ask. It would give you a detailed step-by-step. Like, I don't understand how they could publish that. I guess they were maybe hoping for a viral loop. Well, they definitely got that. I wanted to ask, what is your GPT Slovak corrector? Xurify. Good question. So it's super simple, actually. I don't use it much anymore because I have a new transcription thing on my phone that I showed off in Use You Can Use a few weeks ago. But it basically takes in a message that I write in Slovak and it corrects it in a style that looks as if I hand wrote it. So no capitalization, no punctuation. But my spoken and Slovak is very good. It's as good as my English, but my written Slovak is like lacking. I don't know. I'll make a mistake in every longer sentence, essentially. And the Slovak corrector is supposed to help that while concealing that AI correction was used. I don't use it much anymore. Usually I just dictate with my new action button, 11 Labs and OpenAI API preset. And I love it because it recognizes the language and it just transcribes everything perfectly. If you're curious about that, 2 weeks ago in Use You Can Use, there's a little segment with a tutorial. But yeah, there you go. I just love that because like I do so many things in German, Slovak, with family, and English, of course, everything else. So it's really good. Do you use Perplexity? Actually, no. I always default to O3, but a bunch of testing that I've done for a consulting client of mine over the past month suggests that Perplexity still has the highest relevance results. ChatGPT might be better on citations and faster, but if you want just the raw, highest quality results, Perplexity is great. But then obviously the raw intelligence of O3 and the way it works is that's just on a different level. So I default to O3. Okay. Shae, this is a good take. I like it. Your aha moment created many aha moments for others, Igor. Well, and that's just the beauty of life right there, isn't it? Yeah, I hope that's the case. That's my goal. Really. And thanks for being here, everybody. Feel free to share your questions. Now we're just doing open-ended Q&A. Yeah. How about the future of Discord in relation to the community? You mean the articulate idiot? You mean in relation to our community? Well, I don't want to revive the Discord ever again. It's basically dead. I figured like the reasoning behind like abandoning the Discord was I want everything that's a part of the brand to be to the quality standards that I hold the YouTube channel to, which are very high, as you might know. We have multiple people working on the edits, multiple people reviewing, multiple people researching, multiple people help me put it all together for each step. And we just want to make the highest quality videos we can, sometimes at the cost of speed, sometimes at the cost of conciseness, but always from a place of knowledge transfer and from a place of trying to uplift you with our content. We do our best. But the Discord channel, to answer your question, I couldn't do that. It was too much. Like a free community for tens of thousands of people. Like, I couldn't deliver the quality that I expected from it. So I decided to wind it down and to rather focus on the paid community, where we can really be very selective with what guides and courses and resources we create, where we can put on events that have a certain culture to them. In the Discord with that many people, you just can't. You open up rooms and you're gonna get random people in there that like there was so many nasty individuals that just showed up there and that just ruined the whole fun for everybody else. So it was just too much. In the community with a few hundred people, you know, like we know all the regulars by name. We know their preferences. We know their background. We can help them. If somebody new joins, we have a new thing. If somebody joins on a yearly plan, Matthias reaches out and does a bespoke onboarding for you. Like you get a 30-minute call included. It's not even public yet. We'll make it public. But like we really want to make people get the most out of this. And we couldn't do that at the scale of the Discord. We can do it on the YouTube. So that's why we decided to wind it down. Yeah. Quality control. Yeah, Sabrina saying she loves the community. Oh, that's so nice of you. And we love you, Sabrina. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have here? A few more questions. Maybe briefly, let me just do this in the end, just because I promised it. I'm going to turn on my little screen share and my cam. So for next month, if you're curious, if you missed this challenge, you can look at all the results here. But for next month, we're going to have the daily vibe code challenge. Very simple. Everything is outlined here. You basically need to create and host on the web a little website that gives you daily quotes. That's the only restriction. You can do whatever you want, and we're going to be judging it based on the creativity and the user experience, okay? So mainly creativity. So how creative is your website? And yeah, should be very fun. In case you haven't ever done that before, I did a lecture in the community, well, a step-by-step workshop actually, that shows you exactly how to do this with Claude Code as a non-technical person with zero experience. If you just follow this, I'm confident you'll be able to do it. If you're not, you can comment here and me and the team will be here to help you out. Well, mainly the team. But also me. No, actually Claude Code is like where I have my hours in. So yeah, basically the whole workflow is here. If you wonder about the hosting part, I have a free solution here that will do it in like 15 seconds. You just log in with Google, you drag and drop the folder and it's on the web. It's incredible. So yeah, we're giving you this video for free from within the community to learn the skills needed to complete this and then just show us what you can do. Win a free membership, cash prize, all that good stuff. So there you go. That's the next month's challenge. Make sure to check it out. Ooh, double Igor. Okay, more questions. Come on, let's do some good questions here. What do we got? Okay. Love learning from YouTube videos. They're amazing. But then I love learning how AI is going to be a multidimensional entity that is fractal in nature and is totally in line with quantum physics. There you go. Just like every other being, isn't it? Maybe. Okay. Okay. Sabrina, thank you so much for the love. Is she saying that in the community she's learning new things all the time and she uses AI every day all the time? Well, that's incredible. That's what it's really, yeah, we have a great onboarding experience for new users, but really I think once you get past the first 10 hours and past the like prompt engineering course, like there's so much. It's an infinite well that keeps growing every day. Glad you enjoyed. Glad you enjoyed. I do it too. I do too. Let's see. Any final questions? If not, then I think this is a good point to round things out. Or anything else? What did you obsess about this weekend? Vibe coding. Aha. Yeah, true. There is a thing. Okay, let me think if I can. I think it's gonna. I think we're already editing the tutorial on the whole thing. I don't think I should show it off yet. It's Okay, I'll tell you about it. Okay, how about that? So so yesterday I spent like from like 2:30 p.m. to like almost 1 in the morning. What's that? 11 hours? Something like that. 10, 11 hours, something like that. And then the prep work and the planning before, and then today in the morning, another 4 hours. Okay. I really wanted to create an app. Okay. I really wanted to create an app. And then we had a sponsor reach out with a really cool app of their own. So then I merged those two ideas. And it worked super well eventually. It just took forever to get it the way I imagined it. And it's basically application that makes okay, here's the idea behind the app and the thing that I built. I'll share the whole step-by-step in the next YouTube upload, okay? It's gonna be like maybe like a 25, 30-minute video. But I essentially vibe coded an app that uses your microphone and your system audio to generate live suggestions based on what it hears with AI. And it has different presets. So like you can do a sales coach, you can do a comeback generator, you can do an executive reframer, like, to reframe negatives into positives. You can do a thing to like cheat on coding interviews if you want. You can customize the system prompt. It's basically a version of like what went viral recently. Like there was an app that went like giga viral like a week ago on Twitter and everywhere. And I wanted to make a version of that is like customizable for yourself and like self-hosted and just like vibe coded with your own API key without a subscription. And I managed, but it took me forever, man. So basically listens to you, to your audio when you give it access to it, and then it transcribes everything, and then it makes live suggestions as you go. And you can use it sort of as an assistant app. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. And like, my weekend was gone like this, but yeah, it's cool. Sabrina, if you want to check it out, next YouTube upload is going to be that with an amazing partner that we have on it, like sponsor for the video that makes it even better. And it's just the whole workflow, but it's not a beginner workflow. I would say like for anybody who wants to get into this, really like first steps, what I showed you here in this challenge, what we, made freely accessible now, this lecture is really the best starting point we have. Like just go here to 12 minutes, watch the intro to Claude Code and check out the workflow here. And in like 45 minutes, I believe in the 45 minutes of video, you'll be up and running, creating your first version of what I'm about to show you. And then what I'll show you tomorrow is sort of like the next step in terms of workflow. It also uses GitHub and pull requests and reviews the code. But yeah, self-made. And I'll also be giving you the code to that. So you can kind of just like yoink the app and run it for yourself if you want. A bit like Highlight AI desktop app. Yeah, similar. Yeah. Good take, Tommy. Yeah. A bit like that, yeah. But like fully customizable on your own, yeah. For clients and students, have some ideas. Yeah, so like at the very least, you can just take the code. You can just, like it's so simple. Like I built it in the simplest way possible. I think it's a really good video. It took forever to make, but I think I should do more of those. Like I actually enjoyed it so much. Like also the news you can use take forever to make, but they're not like project-based, right? They're more like news roundups. Like we call them use case roundups, but they're really news roundups for things that you can use. Yeah. What else? Like I have time if you guys want to hang out a little bit. Like still like almost everybody's still staying around, just listening to me yap about AI. My utmost pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to be doing this with you. Yeah, if there's any further questions or anything you want me to review or have a look at, now's the time. How about this? Are there any questions relating to the community? Because I feel like most of the time, like the thing that frustrates me... Oh, my bad, by the way. There's no camera, huh? Okay. Like, is there any question relating to the community? Like, I'll go anywhere you tell me to here. Because, like, I feel like most of the time we have to use, like, the sales page or we have, like, a 1 minute segment in a YouTube video for me to tell you about it. But let me like show you. Like if you have any questions, like ask him and I'll like, what do you want to see? Do you want to see the interactive area, the community square? Do you want to see our guides, resources, the event recordings? Do you want to see our event schedule? Do you want to see the courses we have? A sneak peek? What would you want to see? Happy to show you. I mean, so many people here are just like community members that are hanging out in chat. So you guys know. Yeah, and the one thing about the vibe coding project and the next YouTube upload, like, is the GitHub combination where like we use versioning and checkpoints for it, like branches, which I think is, so it's not the best point to start. I think the best point to start is like the challenge, the next one. By the way, we should probably publish this, huh? So I'll just quickly do this. So it's at least accessible in the public area. There you go. There you go. I'll pin it too. But yeah, this is really the best point to start. Like this is why we put it here. I believe this is going to help a lot of people. This could just be a YouTube video, honestly, but there you go. Pin to top. Excelente. Okay. What's the coolest part of the community, in your opinion, Igor? Show us that. Ooh. So for me personally, I think that's a question, like for me personally, because it's going to differ from everybody. For me personally, I think it's this channel. Share wins and guides. It's people sharing like what they did with AI that worked. I think I just always love checking in on this. And some of the submissions here are just incredible. So we can see Dirk sharing his first game that he created. Or like, I just made a full-blown ad while sitting at my kitchen table. I just love seeing these little like success stories with the step-by-step here. Look at that. I just love reading these little stories. I really like this. And then also, and then beyond that, like my office hours. I really like my office hours. Every 2 weeks, I hold like an office hours event. We just changed the title picture today. Look at me. Because it was like a more serious one. I'm like, hey, I'm not that serious. Come on, man. These little office hours, we always get like, well, usually somewhere between like 8 and 20 people just hanging out in a room for an hour or two. And it's basically this vibe, but everybody gets to talk on with mics on. And sometimes I answer questions, but sometimes somebody just shares what they're working on or like what they're doing. And we discuss like the future of AI and where things are going. I love those. I love my office hours. Yeah. Those are the two parts that are the coolest to me. Oh, this is so wholesome. Well, I wish I would know how to read your chat. Sikix, I suppose. I want to thank you for teaching me everything I know about ChatGPT. Much love back, Sikix. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Tommy, you're the best. That's just too sweet. That's just too sweet. You decided that there's no reason to watch random YouTube videos when Igor's AI community tells you most what. Yeah, you can kind of like one thing that like works because like we have so many community contributors now here. Like you could kind of just like not follow AI news on the internet and just check out what's here. And then just get it from here. And when something like really becomes big, everybody in the community talks about it everywhere anyway. But I think there's still a lot of, there's so many good creators out there. There's so many good creators out there. I just have to say that. But yeah, I appreciate that, Tommy. Also, like I saw my YouTube dashboard and I think you're like the #1 like member supporter with comments and stuff next to Carol. I appreciate both of you. Thank you. Michael asking, is there free trial for the community? No, unfortunately, no. We just have the free area with the challenge, but we don't do free trials. Maybe we should try it sometimes, but it's just like everything. Like there's one thing that we value over everything in the community, and that is like the culture. That's why we also abolished the monthly plans. Like it's not a good business decision to do that, but we want people who will at least stay for 3 months, because that gives you the time to really like meet people and to build relationships and to like actually experience it, rather than just wanting to gobble up the courses and like leave again. And it's just been so much better since. So for the culture, we're not doing free trials. I guess we could do free trials for some of the static resources, but like the community area where like everybody knows each other by name and like there's a real group, you know, there's a real community there. We don't like the idea of free trials, but maybe we should try it at some point in time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Sheldon, he just joined. Okay, this is turning into a bit of a community shill fest. I'm sorry for that. This is supposed to be open discussion, but everybody just... Thank you, Sheldon. Good to have you here. Go for the onboarding, and yeah, make sure to go through the onboarding first and then intro yourself in the channel. Looking forward to meeting you in there. Yeah. You're the only one that really enjoy it. Okay, this is becoming like guys, relax. But I appreciate that. You find other people frustrating to watch. I mean, fair enough. But not all of it. Like, there's so many good ones. Like, Matt Wolf, still killer, right? He's doing so well. Oh, man. Matt's such a great guy. Really. Matt Wolf's amazing. Lime Otley on the business front. Man, that guy's building. I remember we got all started at the same time. Like, both Lime and Matt were in the first cohort. Madvid Pro doing those first looks. I think he's the best at that. Then Tim focusing on the creative stuff. There's so many good creative channels now, by the way. I noticed a bunch of new ones pop up too. So many good. But Tim from Theoretically Media for the creative stuff. Azrael's Castle, what did you miss? Everything. We had a monthly challenge that we reviewed. We reviewed all the submissions for the various aha moments people had that brought them into AI. That's what we did for an hour here. And... yeah, you can go back. It's all recorded. You can check it out if you want. And there you go. What else? Yeah, I think that rounds it out here. Yeah, Azrael, sorry, Azrael's Castle. Yeah. Yeah, Sheldon, I appreciate that. I just want to like maybe share one last thing. And that is the way I kind of think about this channel now. Like, I think there's many decisions I could make for it to like boost numbers, so to say, you know? I could have more aggressive thumbnails and titles. Straight up. Like, a lot of times we make them clickbaity, sure. But like, I always want, like, my criteria is like, if it's clickbait, the video better deliver on that promise. So that's one thing, like we could do that. Second one is we could make shorter content. I think that's something we'll experiment with. But like, honestly, like the ultimate idea with the whole channel is just, I want it to be like a friend of mine told me something on Saturday, and I thought that really captures the channel really well. She was telling me, we were like getting a coffee, and she was telling me like, Igor, like, it's really funny, like watching your YouTube videos and sitting with you over coffee. It's the same thing. It's like, you're the same person. And that is like my goal. Like, I want it to be as authentic as possible. And I want it to be like, when you click on one of the videos, it's like calling me up on my phone and being like, yo, Igor, what's new for AI this week? What should I know about? Let me tell you. You got 20 minutes? All right, let me get into this. Let me tell you about all the stories. It's this, and this is why this matters. Cool, see you next week. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. And I don't think that's optimal for engagement. I don't think that's optimal for numbers. But then I think it builds realer connections, and it's also the only thing I want to do. I don't want to do those thumbnails anymore, you know? So that's the goal. But the downside is like, you sacrifice some channel performance for that. So yeah, if you appreciate that, like, I don't know, leave a like, It helps. Subscribe. But yeah, that's the goal, and I'm glad it's appreciated. And I try, you know, I'm also no genius, but I just try to put in the hours. I try to put in the work. I try to compress it for you, and I listen. If I make a mistake, I'll course correct and we'll do better. We have a bunch of like really cool videos coming up with some really cool sponsors, yeah, as you'll see soon. And I hope you guys enjoy those too, because like whenever we do a sponsored video, like I kind of adopted this mindset of like, okay, let me overwhelm this with effort. Like the tutorial this week, like you'll see is like, it's a big project and I teach a lot. But that's what I would want from a channel. I just try to make what I would enjoy consuming. So if you ever have any feedback, like super open to it, you can shoot us an email. It always gets to me. Yeah. All right. Great to hang out a little. Great to have a little no hype time. Well, we still got a hype. Like honestly, if I made the video titles like completely non-clickbaity, like 0 out of 10, you wouldn't be seeing the videos. Like it's just the way YouTube is built. Like it's like you can't bring a knife to a gunfight, you know? And the YouTube homepage is a gunfight with exaggeration and extreme. So like I do my best for the videos to deliver, but sometimes we have to crank the clickbait dial, and it's just the way it is. Like if you want to do this, and I really want to do this and keep doing this, we just got to do it. So I appreciate the real ones here in chat. And it's great to have you around. Thank you so much for following all the content. I hope you learned something. I hope you, at the very least, enjoyed your time. We're going to do at least another one of those at the beginning of next month. We're going to be scheduling that as soon as possible for the next challenge. Again, another stream like this. And other than that, if you like this format, honestly, and if like it aligns with what you want, the community is built for that. We run like 15 to 20 events similar to this, where you can turn on mic, where you can actually participate every month. And that's just one of like 6 aspects of the community. So if you enjoyed this, chances are you would like that. Other than that, I'm here every Friday, and we're gonna be upping to like 2 uploads a week now. And next live stream in a month, maybe sooner, spontaneously. Let's see. That's it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Much love. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you around. Leave a like if you haven't done so yet. Leave a like. I don't ask that enough. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.